Halt! Think carefully. 10 grenadiers, form front.
I always push that car. I got a lot of it.
I wasn't fully charged when I came out before.
Oh, I see on the British left, closer to the crowd line, there's troops on the move now. Looks like they're heading into the open fields. If they can do a rushed assault straight up the middle, they can be on the Americans with their bayonets in a matter of seconds. But there's an awful lot of things in their way that might prevent that. How are they going to approach this? I see 1, 2 battalions. They formed into a line in a fairly classical form of attack. How effective is this going to be? British grenadiers and fusiliers with their tall fur caps. Oh, now here there's more troops. There's a column of British troops. Oh, there's a big column of British troops now. Moving on the British left, right along the crowd line. Oh, there's a lot of British soldiers down there. This could be a very bad day for the militia on the hilltop. These men are professionals. They This is a force of career soldiers down here, 5, 10 years of experience in the Army. They're presenting a full battle line. The column moves up, and one by one, companies move into a line from the column. If you're down near the crowd line, you can hear the commands. Listen carefully.
Watch those Fusiliers! They're coming straight at you! Wait till they reach that mark and let's go!
To mount an assault effectively, it's critical to keep order among the men. You can't have small numbers getting way out in the front or numbers straggling behind. They have to keep all the troops working together. The musketry, smoothbore muskets individually, not particularly accurate, but if you fire volleys of musket fire, it can be devastating. They're still at a fairly long range. But that may be okay. Sometimes just concentrated volleys of musketry can dispirit an enemy. The British know that the Americans aren't professionals. They might not have the discipline to stand fast. Maybe just musket fire alone will be enough to make them waver and break. There are a lot of British troops down there, folks.
Like next to this tree, because it's
Even as a battle reenactment down there, folks, you may never see so many in one place. These participants came from all over the Northeast for this event. There are people here from Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all over New England. All just to bring this show to you today. All right, the British Grenadiers in their tall fur caps are now advancing way over in the British right near the water. It looks like maybe they had intended to do a quick assault, but they see there's a lot of obstructions in front of them. They have to slow down. They have to put order in their ranks again. Remember, they can't go running forward if they can't all stay together. It won't be effective to just have 2 or 3 men get to the top of the hill. They have to all get up there at once. Oh, what I see here is a British Grenadier battalion with their fur caps. It looks like 2 regiments of British regulars and a battalion of Marines are down there. They're forming a line of battle. They're trying to fill all the space all the way across this field. This means the Americans don't know where the main point of attack is going to come. Will a small part surge forward to the left or to the right? Will they all come up together? Where should the Americans concentrate their defenses? They don't know. The British have the advantage of a high level of training. They can change their formations. They can reposition an attack very quickly and efficiently. For the Americans, it's a lot more difficult to stay organized, but they have the advantage of an earthwork in front of them. They've got defensive positions. There goes the Grenadier Battalion. There they go. They have to get through these fences. That slows them way down. They ought to be charging forward, but they can't do it because of the obstructions. They have to go at a slower pace than they'd like. They have to stop and reform the ranks now. They can't let one part of the battalion get ahead of the other. Oh no, the Americans are taking advantage of this. The British aren't able to effect a charge. The way to unseat the Americans is to rush on them, but they can't go fast enough on this uneven ground, this rugged ground with all these things in the way. They've had to stop now. Oh wait, did they stop an attack? Or maybe it was only a feint this whole time. Maybe they're just trying to stay a little bit out of effective range here. They brought up another battalion to support them. British troops now. Rather than just sending grenadiers forward, now the rest are coming up to support them. Are they going to try a frontal assault on a fortified position? Oh wait, there go the British light infantry way off by the shoreline. They've set off at a fast pace. Maybe this British in the middle, maybe this is just a feint. They're trying to distract the Americans in the center of the line while they send the light infantry around on a flanking attack. Is there a gap over there that the light infantry can get through? Oh no, it looks like Colonel Stark's men saw the gap and they managed to fill it up. The light infantry thought they could go around the flank, but there's no gap there after all. Lingering musket fire has hit the face of this British column. It's only 4 or 5 men wide. They can't return the same volume of fire. The light infantry are getting pushed back. That's it. It's been a feint. This whole British assault in the middle has just been a distraction. The light infantry can pull on the flank. But there are too many Americans on that flank. The musket fire is too intense. That's it. The light infantry is falling back now. The whole British plan for a flanking attack doesn't seem to be working. What will these troops in the center do now if the flank assault doesn't work? What are the light there's the light infantry's in full. They've run into stiff resistance from that rail fence. They can't punch through. They'd hoped to circle around. They're retiring into confusion. The British light infantry are retiring in confusion. Can their officers get control of them now? Nope, they're going back. It looks like an officer. Oh, the intensity of American musketry can really be heard now.
Fire at will.
The British feint is now turning into an assault. The flank attack failed, so the British center is just moving forward anyway. Over on the British right, you see the grenadiers in their fur caps trying to go after that rail fence, but there's a lot of things in their way. They can't move forward. The light infantry are trying to rally now. They're not out of the fight. They've been checked, but they're reforming in the British rear. The Americans have gained confidence from having an earthwork to stay behind. They've realized that the British can't move quickly on them with their bayonets, so they can just shoot unopposed and be well protected by their earthworks. The British grenadiers have started to retire. They couldn't move against the rail fence. They've started to fall back. Oh no, the light infantry are trying to fire at long range, but they're firing from behind the grenadiers. Now the British grenadiers are being hit from the front by the Americans, and they're getting random shots from behind from their own light infantry. And the main British column is stalled there too. They can't get up that steep slope. slope under withering fire. They've had to stop. The Americans have gained confidence, but they're expending a lot of ammunition. And the British are charging. They're charging up the hill. The American fire is withering. The British are forced to move slowly up the hill. And the American gunfire is intense. The British advance has failed. They're falling back. They took a lot of casualties. They're falling back.
That's a British one.
Have fallen back, folks. They've taken a lot of casualties. Remember, they're professional soldiers. Their officers are rallying the men now. They're getting them to reform. They're forming up out of effective musket range. But it's been a pretty brutal assault so far. The light infantry are still trying to fire at long range, and they're even hitting some of their own men. Retiring. The Americans are still firing. The British are out of range, but the Americans are still going through a lot of ammunition. Each of these men on the American side carried 20, 30 rounds of ammunition. The British have as many as 60. The officers on the British side have gotten control now. They're having an orderly retreat. They're regrouping. On the American side, the officers are trying to get control. There's still men firing, even though the British are well out of effective range. These young militia soldiers with limited training, it's hard to keep control of them now. The officers are trying to get them, conserve your ammunition. But they're enthusiastic now. They've seen that maybe they can win this battle. Maybe they can hold this hill.
Second platoon! Rest your firelock!
The British are pulling back to the shoreline. I have a feeling it's not over yet, though. Formed in open order now. Maybe this will be a more effective formation for this kind of assault. Will they be able to move fast enough to get up the hill? Well, they start at a slower pace. They have to maintain their line. They don't want some of the soldiers getting ahead of the others. They don't want any falling behind. They start at a slow pace to be sure that everybody has that order. See the way they can get around the obstructions now. They're in open order. It's more effective for the terrain they have to cover. It looks like they're not going to try another flanking assault like this time. This must not be a feint. This must be the real thing this time. The Americans are opened up with their artillery. They have just a few artillery pieces in the middle of their line. It appears they still have ammunition. Here too, the British open order is an effective way to avoid casualties from those cannons. Taking advantage now of some of these obstructions in their field. They're using them as covered positions. You can see the American troops, they're not as disciplined. Rather than volley fire, they're starting to get a lot of individual fire now. The men are enthusiastic, but they're not professional soldiers. They're a little harder to control. They're keeping up a ramping up hot fire now. Their ammunition supply up on the hill. The British have had time to get by. But it's hard to control these men. With enthusiasm. Fire from one range. And the British seem to have to they're keeping position at a distance. Like the Americans keep throwing away ammunition. They're actually working their Now the British seem to still have some artillery ammunition to use. Remember, they're very low on artillery ammunition on the British side because their support is the wrong side's ammunition. They've got some rounds, but not much. They can't use their cannons to bring up forward to pummel the American works. They don't have the ammunition for it. Now the American commanders have finally got more control of their men, gotten them to cease fire, and they're not throwing away their ammunition needlessly anymore. It's too great a range. There's no point in trying to shoot these distances. But it's hard to control the enthusiasm of their men. They saw how effective their musket fire was before they went into shooting. Here the British troops have reformed. Who have we got here? Is it a different battalion? Some new troops on the field? No, it looks like the same ones forming. They're going to try to come closer. Be careful. They're being very careful and they're using what cover they can find. They're going to make a hasty assault this time. They're going to feel out the position very carefully. Drums and piping. It looks like there's more British troops coming up. So this isn't all of them. There's still a lot more to come. Here they come. Here comes a strong column that's emerging out of the camp area now. Oh, we thought the British would have reinforcements, and guess what? They have a lot of reinforcements. They've been able to get fresh ammunition. They've been able to get fresh troops. They're professionals Let's see how the British play it this time. Position now. The Grenadier Battalion, wearing their fur caps, they're now with the British left closest to the crowd. Italian troops are in contact. Now they're moving around toward the waterfront. Rain. British are firing too, but they have a lot more ammunition. Everyone carries about 60 rounds. The Americans have only 20 or 30 per man. The British can afford to spend some ammunition here, trying to tempt the Americans to use theirs. Now the British have formed quite a battle line. Another flanking attack? Will those soldiers out there near the waterfront try to go around the American flank? Maybe they'll form on the opposite side, closest to the crowd, and try to press on the redoubt. Looks like the British battalion line is ready to fire, but they have to move the light infantry out of the way. You heard the command to make ready. Now wait for the next command. Present. The light infantry are trying to flank a little bit, and they've also made room for the rest of the British troops to move forward. The American troops have seen that the British are preparing to fire a devastating blow. Some of them are kneeling down now behind the redoubt. Wise move. Charging again. Trying to get up that flank against the rail fence one more time. Looks like the Americans are having trouble keeping a steady fire. Light infantry are going down, but they just keep there it is. There's the first in the British home. It's a long range, but that's a pretty intimidating amount of gunfire. These are going to repel the American troops. Will they start to waver? It looks like the light infantry are pinned down now. A lot of men went down, but I don't think they were hit by the gunfire. I think they're using this protection. They're so low down that the Americans can't get good shots at them anymore. They're actually using the slope of the hill to their advantage. Here comes the rest of the British line. That's a lot of redcoats. seem to fire from. The American officers are trying to control the fire on the American side. Don't fire when the soldiers. It's not effective, but they can't control the fire. From the British troops, they're able to maintain the British have started getting into range of the American musketry. What are they going to do? They're going to try to assault this fixed position. They can't just do some of the British troops got almost up to the fort that time. They couldn't quite get enough troops out there quickly enough, and now they're pulling back down the hill. It looks like they're going to use these floats. You can see for safety reasons, an officer had to go out and actually move some of the casualties out of the way because you can't be lying down in front of the cannon. Again, safety is paramount. This is a reenactment. It's very important that we don't have any real casualties. So they make some adjustments on the field. The British are pulling back. But they know they can't the Americans in that fortification. You can hear their drums playing cadences to keep the men organized. You can see there's a lot of troops out there, but there's some order. They're staying together. They're staying in their formations. Some of the casualties are being drawn off the field now. Why don't the Americans start shooting at these wounded men? Well, one, there's no value in it. Two, they know that they are low on ammunition. They don't have reinforcements. The British do.
like savages. It is done. It is done.
Now you can see that Americans are desperate for ammunition now. They're actually going out and searching some of the British casualties, hoping they can find a few more musket cartridges. You've probably heard of powder horns used to load muskets. You won't see any of that here. Military technology is a little bit fancier than that by 1775. Each of these men carries a cartridge pouch, a leather bag that's slung over their shoulder. Inside of it is a wooden box with holes in it. Each of the holes contains a cartridge. As surprised as anyone that they were able to beat back those two assaults. But a third one, and they do that too. And they're low on ammunition. Some of their comrades have already fled. No part of this battle has been seen enough. We're still here. They've got some fight in them. But do they have in line in battle like they were before. Yeah, they're definitely using a different mode of attack this time. One of the ways to attack a fortification is to use a low-hanging column to try to punch a hole in one side of the line to create momentum. This long bridge is holding the hole up. Maybe they can shot down. There'll be more, and there'll be more, and there'll be more. They'll keep coming. They'll be able to pierce a hole in one time. The Americans ran clean out of ammunition this time. There's just a few Americans with a little bit of resistance, but there's many British troops now.
Virginia and Delaware.
So like we all so we're going, and it's so funny. My friend Ron came home the other day, and she's on and she was like, and she's one of those people. She called me like this. I'm like, that's awesome.